Welcome back in my channel today. Hope you are doing well and fine at your home. Now I am going to start a new series on the ServiceNow scripting part. With the best of my knowledge, with the best of my experience, I am going to share some more inputs on the ServiceNow scripting. It is a series which have a multiple days course, multiple days videos. Every day we will be learning something new in the ServiceNow. But this ServiceNow scripting series will be from the functional consultant point of view. Why I get need of this particular series is that because when I go for the interviews, it has been asked to me, you are a functional consultant, do you know about scripting? I said no. So I think that it is not the case with me only. There's a lot of people like me, there's a lot of consultants like me who are facing this issue. So with the God grace, I am starting this series now, which is named as Learn ServiceNow Scripting from the Functional Consultant. And let me take a tour you on for today's course. It's called Overview, Introduction and Foundation. To cover this series, I'm following the book and I'm taking the chapters from the book itself. We're not going to be discussing in depth everything on the book, but I'll give you the maximum knowledge which I have, maximum experience which I have, would like to be shared with you. So let's start here, guys. So this is the chapter I'm going to pick up today. Chapter number 1 is there, which says in the starting we will discuss about configuration and the customization, script or not to script, type of scripts, script execution, introduction to the scripting, script editor, and at last the summary. As the name indicate, the configuration versus customization. I hope you watched my previous video on the customization part, so let me start from there. Every customer want to modify something in the ServiceNow instance, which we can call as a business smart customization. In the ServiceNow term, I say that is business smart customization. And ServiceNow say when it comes to the business smart customization, it can be configuration, it can be custom development. It's up to you how you are evaluating, how you're considering that point. So the thing is that if you want to achieve anything in ServiceNow, in short, in a layman part, I can say there's two things, either configuration, either customization. Configuration says that when you use the ServiceNow interface to set up some rules, some conditions, and other configurations in the property or the filter is called the configuration. Example, setting up the SLAs, setting up the emails is a best example of the customization. You are making some changes in the drop-down value. It's a configuration. It's a configuration. So like you can take example here. By adding some value, you are doing just a configuration in the business. You are not making any customization. So then the question comes, Atul, what is customization? Customization means something which is not available in ServiceNow, or I can say which is not provided by ServiceNow out of the box is called the customization here. Again, I related to my previous video of the customization best practices is that something business need which you want to be achieved in the ServiceNow not available or given by ServiceNow out of the box. That is become the customization for me. So what this book says, customization is when an administrator use script to allow an instance to perform further tasks beyond the configuration can be alone. In the simple words, if say that the needs which you are not able to achieve via drop downs, making some changes in here or there, then you write some script, it is become a customization. According to this book, even if you write a small script of the 2 lines, it is called the customization. And again, it depends from company to company, project to project, account to account, that what they consider a customization and what they consider as a configuration. But ServiceNow put very clear disclaimer here that if you are doing any customization, if you are writing any script here, I am not responsible. You have to take care of your complete code. Writing, documentation, everything you have to take care at your side. And it is always said, if you are as a creator of anything, you should do that documentation very carefully and up to the mark. The only drawback is that if you are writing any script during the upgrades, it can create a problem as well for you. So we will discuss these things in the upcoming classes, how we can avoid this part. So what this book says as a tip, number one tip is that if customization an existing ServiceNow script, rather than customize the scripts itself, copy it, rename it, and copy it script, deactivate the existing script. So what I saw in my previous teams, the developer is making a change in the script which is given by ServiceNow, which create a problem later on when it's be used by some other module as well. So what this book says, if you want to customize this, better copy that script, rename the previous one, rename the copied script, and then do your part and deactivate the previous one, so that tomorrow when you run this code, when the upgrade should happen, it should not create any problem for you. And also, because I work as a release engineer, so I know the backup is very much important. Always, when you want to make a change in any of the script given by ServiceNow or your script, always take a backup before you proceed further. Now the next topic which come into this picture is that to script or not to script. It is a very, very, very big fight always happen in the development team. For developer, if you are a pure lover of the coding, you always love to be write the codes instead of thinking that can I achieve this part from other way or not. Very simple example, if I want to go from Bombay, or let's say I want to go from Noida to Delhi, what is the best way to go that part? Shall I go via car? Shall I go via bus? Shall I go via flight? That is, concepts come here. What you want to be achieve, that is very much important here. So this book says that if you can configure instead of scripting, it should be the first thought. Try to go as much as out of the box. Now the ServiceNow also say try to go the low code or the no code functionality. Before you write a script, before you thought for the script writing, better check the alternatives available around you. That is the first practice, best practice you can be put it here. And this is one of the question can be asked in the interview. While you're a functional consultant, it can be asked. The second point, what this book says, if you find yourself unable to achieve your goal with configuration, then look for the script. But before that, it should be the last option. It should be the last option, guys. It should not be like the first point you think, let me write a script. No, because writing a script is easy, but maintaining it tough. So if you see here, remember once you start to customize, maintaining the customization is your responsibility, and it is always the costlier part. You have to maintain. Maintenance, people say, hey, what is this? These 2 lines code need to be maintained. No, it is only 2 lines for you, but in a business, in a complete project, it has a very big value. Everybody need to be take care. This code should not be removed, deleted, updated without any approval of these things. That is, it's called the maintenance means heavy. And also, sometimes it is not possible for everyone to understand the script written by some other person. That is also the reason that customization, the scripting has been avoided here. So people like me, it's tough for me to understand the other script. Maybe I can write, but not understand quickly the other scripts. So what this says, to script or not script, for example, you are looking to show, hide, or make mandatory or read only a field. This can be easily achievable via client script or the UI policy. Now, being a developer, it is up to me which is the best method I have to be used. Again, remember in the previous video of the customization, I say try to evaluate the business value. Try to evaluate the complexity score. You will say, Atul, it is not that much easy. One script, why should I go for the big process? But you should keep that point, these 5 points, low to medium, high, high, medium to high. These 5 points are required. These parameters are required here. For me, if you think UI policy is the best way to do this part instead of writing the client script. But being a developer, you have to make sure that you are using the right method, right way to do that part. And what the tip they says here, try to avoid script whenever possible. Configuring an instance instead has many benefits and makes an instance easier to maintain. Always, always, always true. I must say it is always true for us. At least for me, it is always true. Now the question comes, type of scripts. The game is in these two, or I can say the four words only: client side and server side. There are two type of scripts given by I can say, or used in ServiceNow specifically. That is the client side or the server side. And we play around all these things only. Don't be confused. Atul, there's a fixed script, there's a background script. Yes, those are the scripts. But the parent is either client or either server side. In the next page, we're going to be discuss about the same as well. What the client side script says. It says the code which run on the front of the user. Let's take an example. I want to be book a ticket for a flight ticket. I want to book a flight ticket. I put my age as the 17 years. It is giving me a pop-up. You are not allowed for the concession. This is called the client side. Without saving the data, without submitting the data on the web page, it is checking and giving me the update or the error. So what it say, based on the data that was delivered by user to the web page, is be come under this particular category. This is one of the question asked to me in the interview. What is the difference between the client side and the server side? And this was a question asked when I was just new in ServiceNow, approximately in 2014 or 15. I'm talking that part. 15, 16. I'm talking that part. So these are the things which is important. Maybe you think Atul is very basic. Agree, basic. But from a functional consultant perspective, it is not a basic. It is important. It is a foundation for us. So these scripts can be used, the data loaded as a part of the web page and run the scripts. That is the number one point. Server side scripts says which run at the back side. For every successful show, there are the people who work from the background. I organize a lot of events, so I know that people who are working on the catering, people who are working on the transportation, people who are working on the facility part, they are the real heroes in that background. And those are considered as a server side scripts, which take the data from the front end, go in the back end, do some exercise, do some changes, and bring it for you here. This is the server side scripts, which say will run behind the scene once a form has been submitted or something has been triggered. It is a server. It means when I say the server, it go and hit the database. It go and bring the data bring the information from the database itself. The reason it says the server side. And the business rule in ServiceNow, there is a concept called the business rule. They are the server side scripts. Okay. Now let's discuss about this thing, that how many different, or I can say the common scripts which can be differentiated in these two areas, client side and the server side. These are two parent here. We can say under client side we have a client scripts, we have a UI policies, we have a UI action. Client scripts which run on the form level. UI scripts which is be required for the making a field hide, mandatory, or the read only. UI action, the buttons you are able to see. We see the buttons on the form. The related list is called the UI action here. Server side scripts, business rule. And one more point here, to confuse the candidate, generally it has been asked, is business rule a server side script or the client side script? And candidate get confused. Same example happened with me. Access control, your ACLs are we're talking here, is the server side scripts. Your scripts include, when you're calling your script from some other script, it's called a script includes here. UI action, oh my god, UI action is here and here. Let's discuss this point, that why this action in the two sides, client as well and the server as well. Scheduled job, when you run your jobs in the midnight in some given specific time, you write some scripts, that is called the scheduled jobs. Background scripts which run in the backgrounds, maybe for the fixes I can say, are the background scripts. Workflow scripts, to update, I can say workflow or the flow script specifically. When you write the code in the workflows activities, in the change, problem, request, knowledge, those workflows, if you are writing some scripts, that come under that part. And script action is the last action in the server side part. Now the question comes, Atul, why UI actions are in the both side, server and the client side? So what this book says, you may notice that from the preceding table that UI action appear in the both client and server side. This is because they can then be as either, and therefore they fit on the both categories. So UI action you can run before database and after database as well. Even though it is not on the 100% of the form level, but it is not going the database as well directly. So we will discuss in depth these things little later on. Now what this says that server-side scripts are considered preferable. The reason is because the main calculations you are doing on the server perspective, means in the background. If you put the client scripts, more client scripts, your page or the performance may get impacted. Where? Because they run in the background, and the client scripts which run in the front end and delay the loading as well. There is another point. Then this says client and server side scripts are a huge part of ServiceNow scripting. Yes. If you see that how the system is working, nowadays ServiceNow is moving to the low code or the no code, even though they are also removing the scripting part very slowly. But still, according to my experience, 30 to 40 or 50% is mainly the scripting in the ServiceNow itself. Maybe in the different formats, but at last it's a scripting in the background. So what they say is, when writing a new script, ask yourself whether the results need to be shown immediately in the front of the user. If no, consider the server side. Otherwise, consider the client side scripts. Another tip which is given by this book. The next topic which in the series is now, that is called the script execution. Very important point in this area. Every script, either it is the UI action, it is a client scripts, or I can say kind of a scheduled jobs or background scripts. Every script has the order in that. Order means that when the execution will be happen for that particular script, because when we are doing the customization, we create a lot of scripts on the single table, and I as a developer need to be decide that when in which order they should be done. So ServiceNow specifies some specific numbers, less than 50, less than 100, less than 2000, less than 999, less than 1000, less than 10,000. So we'll see that screenshot in the upcoming pages. So what they say, scripts are run in the ascending order. It means number 50 will run before number 100. Each number is not unique. Very important point. If you go to your PDI, you will find out. Let me show in the PDI as well. You will find out here that these are the order. These are not unique. These are not unique. It means for every table, this number has a different purpose, different execution order. So what they say is that though you are able to have multiple scripts run at order 100, which is default, means if you're getting a default script, if you're getting a new script, the by default will be go as the number 100 here. Okay, that is very much important point. It is up to the developer to be decide in which order a script should be run. Again, all these things from the functional consultant perspective, because these things are the best practices from the consulting perspective. When you want to move your career, when you want to be upgrade in your career from the functional to techno-functional, the technical part, we should know these things very carefully. Okay. Now the most of the server side scripts have a predefined orders. And what this says, business before business rule with an order less than 1000. If you're using the business rule that is a before type, the order should be less than 1000. Before engines, before business rule with an order greater than or equal to 1000, like this. So this is order has been given here. Then which order you have to put, means if you want to run any business rule which don't have a before or before the business rule, you should put the order sequence less than 1000 only. Okay. Now I'm coming to the next part of this particular thing, is that introduction to the scripting. A lot of people ask me, Atul, what scripting ServiceNow use? From my experience, I'm saying that ServiceNow mainly use the JavaScript for the backend part. For the front end, for the portal, AngularJS, earlier it was Jelly as well, but now it's not in the use. AngularJS, JavaScripts are still most famous scripting in the ServiceNow area. So if you want to build your career, you have to start learning the JavaScripts as well. Okay. Now the next point, what this says, before you start writing the first script, it is important to check whether your goal can be achieved without using script. Again, this book is very much emphasizing on the one part always. Before you start your journey, just see that is the right way to do this part or not. This is what we as a consultant come into the picture. This is what we as a business process consultant, as a functional consultant, come into the picture and guide the team here in that area. Okay. While scripting, it is important to think about what you want to be achieved, which record and which field database you need access. Because being a developer, okay, I understand that I'm a developer. I like the coding. That's fine. I like the coding. That's fine. But it doesn't mean that I start writing the coding blindly. I have to understand if I write a script, which database, which field, which attribute I need to be pick up. Is that attribute is so heavily used? It is a primary key, it is a foreign key, it is a mapped key, what type of key it is? Will it creating any problem for me, performance issue? We have to understand that part. Second point, what this says is that whenever you are doing a script, please make sure your code is well documented. It has the comments, it has the complete description that why you're writing this code and what you want to be achieve this code. This issue occur, this is the important why this is be mentioned when you are going for upgrades, or let's say if I write some code and now I'm no longer working that company and there's no documentation, it is tough for the other person to understand that part. So documentation is always required, good comments and description, and they give example like this. So this is a description they're saying like this. By reading this, you can understand that what this particular function is going to be do now. The last point which we are coming here, that is script editor, where to write the script, how it's be written, how it is be written in the ServiceNow. So let me bring you on the client side, client scripts, and let me show you. This is called the script editor. This box is called the script editor. Only 2 buttons? No, it is a new trick given by ServiceNow. So if you click on this button, that is called the enable syntax highlights. If you open this, it will show you the complete menu. Like it is the similar thing. Like if you go all here, if you pin up, it will show like this. If you unpin, it will not show like this. The same thing they have done here. Hide it or show it. So this is the first one, that is called the syntax highlighters, I can say. Now the next one, that is called the toggle comments. If you want to make any text as a comment, maybe generally developer do it manually like this, but if you want to do the multiple lines, then better you select like this and put on this part. So it's commented it. Then it come for the format code. Just do some alignment like this. Like this. Now if I want to do the format code, just select and click on the format code. So now you can see in a better sequence it has been appearing now. Again, the best practice is if you want to replace any word, search here. I can say search KW with Atul. You want to say yes, it will be highlighting this. I can say yes. So by this way it can be done. Replace all, normal same thing, just make a changes like Control F, Control V, Control F, then you can do find and replace, you can do that part. If you want to search something, search here. So it is highlighting me here, search. This one is. Now if you want to find the next button, up button, very easily. Atul, I don't like this small screen. Let's have a big screen like this. A bigger content area, I can say. The question mark, if you want to see some kind of a help here, what are the shortcut keys specifically, you can do it like this. What are the shortcut keys, you can use that part. Now, if you want to toggle the syntax, you don't want to be sure like these things, then click on this. It will not show any error code. So generally developers prefer these things to make sure that where I'm putting some error. So now if I put like this, it's not giving me any error like this. And at last it is a saving part. You can save it from here, you can save it from here as well. If I save, because I don't have any complete information, so it will not save in the database. Okay, so this is what we will be specifically talking about, the scripting part. Now one more thing which I want to show you here, that many developers use the ServiceNow utilities as well to do the scripting. I am not completely sure, but I can show you something here. You can check. So you can use this script, you can use this kind of things to make sure that you are making some slash command, some other things, and you can use that particular utilities in the ServiceNow area. So this is what we discuss in today's part. These are the required from the consulting perspective, that you should know this box, all the things are there. So now we're done with the basic structure, that how to write, not how, where to write, why to write, is it be required to be write, type of scripts, client scripts, server side scripts, and under that we have a UI action, UI script, business rule, everything is there. So with this, let me take a pause here for the time being. We'll come back again with the next day video, with the second day video on some other topics of the scripting part. Till the time, take care, have a nice day guys, enjoy, bye bye.